Arken versus Vortex versus Arken. I finally got my hands on all three of these scopes so I can test them back to back to back. On each one of the tests, I'm going to start out with the Arken 1-6, I'll move to the Vortex 1-6, and then the Arken 1-8. The reason I decided to set it up like that, it goes in price from the cheapest to the most expensive. I'll tell you everything that you hopefully would ever want to know about these scopes, and if you'll come back at the end of the video, I'll give you some final thoughts that may upset one or two people. To start out with, they're all very similar size. The Arken and the Vortex 1-6 are both 30 millimeter. Now here's a look at the Arken 1-6 eyepiece. These are also very similar. The thing is, on the Arken, for its price range, it's actually good. I would say it's above average. Now the Vortex fast focus eyepiece, I think is below average. It was a little bit gritty and a little bit sticky. Now I only have a sample size of one, but the one that I got, it was definitely sticky and gritty. The Arken 1-8, on the other hand, is the most premium of these three scopes, and it felt like it in all the controls, whether or not it was the eyepiece or the magnification, it felt more premium. Everything was smoother. It's more expensive. It should feel like the best, but it's not necessarily the best for everything. Now on the magnification ring, on the two Arkens, they have a removable throw lever. The Vortex comes with a removable throw lever, but it's more of a ring with a post. I personally like the ones that the Arken has, but the Vortex is a lot harder to move back and forth, and the extra leverage gives you a big help. Now I'm gonna be showing you these things zooming in downrange at 100 yards. They were filmed on 2 different days, but I could only get so much footage done on one day. But this will give you an idea of the image that you get downrange with any of these scopes. Again, the Vortex has the big long throw lever that's removable. Now without it, it was really hard to turn it. Now don't get me wrong, I've got arthritis, I'm old, but it was still hard to turn it. All three of these scopes give you a gigantic field of view. They should at one power. Now the Arken 1-8 has the smoothest control of any of them. It feels the most premium. It just has a feel of more quality to it. Again, it's the most expensive scope, it should, and it doesn't disappoint when it comes to how it turns and how it moves when you're turning the magnification up and down. Now here's a look at it downrange at 100 yards, and the Arken 1-8 is a first focal plane. It has 2 different sets of rings inside of it. That way, regardless of whether or not it's turned down low or turned up high, you can see it real easily. All 3 are illuminated. All 3 have stepped illumination. The 2 Arkens have 2 night vision settings on each one of those with illumination. Now here's a look at the illumination downrange on the 1-6. The 1-6 by far is the weakest illuminated scope in this group. If you need daylight illumination, you could go ahead and scratch this one off your list. Now the Vortex 6, on the other hand, is the brightest illuminated out of all 3 of these scopes. It's second focal plane, so you don't have to worry about the reticle changing on you. It's gonna stay the same size. Vortex downrange is for sure the brightest of the 3. Now the Arken 1-8, it's first focal plane, so the rings roll with the magnification as you turn it up and down. It's not as bright as the Vortex is, but when you use the outer ring, it is so big that it really jumps out at you. Now all of these are brighter to your eye than they appear on camera. This is probably the second brightest, the Arken 1-6 being the lowest brightness. But I do like having the outer ring on the first focal plane, because without it, it's just hard to pick it up. Now here's a look at the turrets on the Arken 1-6. Very clicky, very positive, and there's no slop in the way the turrets work. Now this is 100 yards. I'm running the vertical track it all the way from stop to stop to give you an idea of just how much movement you have inside of this scope. There's a look at the side turret on the Arken 1-6. Again, very clicky with no backlash. Now right here, I'm running all the way from one side to the other on the windage, so that you can see there's a ton of adjustment, because there are cheap ARs and that kind of stuff out there. If you try to use it on something that's not drilled perfectly, you're gonna need a lot of windage adjustment. All 3 of these will fit that bill easily. Now here's a look at the Vortex 1-6. The Vortex 1-6 has the least good turrets. I guess you could say the worstest of the group. They just have a lot of slop in them. And again, when I did the tracking on them, the Vortex would usually come back one click just off. Now that's not a huge deal for an LPVO. Most of the time it's a set it and forget it type scope. But of the three, when it comes to tracking and returning, the Vortex came in third place for sure. Again, you can see all of the travel adjustment that you have downrange. There's more than enough in any of these three scopes. I'm trying to bring it right back to center, but it misses by just a little. The windage is the same way. It's very positive, the way it feels, the way it clicks, but it just doesn't move with the same type of authority that the Arkens do, and a lot of it has to do with the backlash that's in each turret. It just has some slop in it, so it's not gonna stop the exact same place every time, like one of the Arkens that has better tracking and a more positive feeling turret. Again, you can see the slop in the turrets. Now the Arken 1-8, by far, the turrets felt the best. The Arken 1-6 is close to it, but the 1-8 is a step above the 1-6. When it comes to precision, when it comes to the glass, everything about it, the Arken 1-8 is better. Turrets, watch the way they look when I stop them. You'll see they stop on a dime, and when I go to move them, you'll see no movement whatsoever. When they stop on a click, they stop. There's no slop of any kind. Now there's the windage on Arken 1-8, running it from one side to the other. The magnification right here is set on 8 power. This is what it'll look like when you turn it all the way up or almost all the way up. All right, some final thoughts. The Arken 1-6 comes in third place in almost every meaningful category except for price. It is the cheapest by far, especially if you use my code. You'll see all that down in the description. It's a very usable scope. I have one sitting on my personal AR, but it is not up to the quality that the Vortex is. The Vortex comes in second place in everything but turrets and tracking. That just doesn't track and repeat the way the Arkens do. Now, I would say Illumination, it for sure is the brightest. The glass quality in the 1-6 Vortex is better than the 1-6 Arken. It should be, it's more expensive. And if you're the type of person, think about this seriously. If you're the type of person that likes to call customer service with a ton of questions, you need a lot of hand holding, then go with the Vortex. The Arken, that's not their thing. They are trying to save money and pass it on to the consumer to give the best LPVO they can for the price. They don't have a crew sitting around waiting to answer a bunch of questions. It's a much smaller group. They're trying to get this stuff out there as fast as they can with all the quality checks. So if you need a lot of hand holding, go with the Vortex. Now, to me, the Arken 1-8 is the best scope in the group. It should be. It's the most expensive. It also is a first focal plane. It has dual illumination with the 2 different rings. I personally prefer it, but each one of them at its price point, and I've done each one of these scopes individually, I think all 3 are great buys. Now, if you've stuck around this long and you found some value out of this video, hit the like button, leave a comment, and let people know you appreciate the fact that during my videos, I don't run ads the whole damn time. I let people start the video, watch it to the finish without a bunch of pop-up ads. That irritates the shit out of me. I think it would anybody else.